Hello, Lise Borbeau.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure.
I'm so happy to listen to you, to listen to your wisdom, and to listen to your story. And I'm so grateful to put your story there to the people who want to discover what it means to listen to your body. I really like to know what means being Lise Borbeau now and what meant being Lise Borbeau 32 years ago when you first write your bestseller, Listen to Your Body.
Well, that's a big question. Well, before I started my school, I was a housewife, a husband, 3 children, and 3 teenagers. And I discovered by accident, because I had gained weight and I started to write what I ate, I started to realize how much what I eat, it was telling me a lot about myself. And it opened my eyes completely, because I had been doing a lot of positive thinking, seminars and reading. But this knowing about myself, this way I realized I was rigid and in my habits, and that I rarely ate when I was hungry or what I needed to eat. I would eat so I would not waste food, or I would eat because it was time to eat. And I realized that that's what I did with my life. I was not listening to my needs. And this was the switch from positive thinking to spiritual learning. So I got very excited. I started to change my way of eating and everything. And it's I realized that after a few months, I lost the weight I had extra, and I lost all the pains and aches and backaches and everything I had disappeared. So I thought there must be a link, and I started to really look for that and ask my friends, are you aching somewhere? I was trying to make the connection. I was discovering lots of things. And then one day I had a dream that I had to teach that.
Wow.
So I saw myself in a big room with 1,000 people, and I was giving a conference, and I got so excited when I woke up from that dream. I said, that's what I want to do. And by that time, I was #1 in sales from Canada and United States. I was breaking all the records, because I didn't realize it then, but what I like most about being in charge of a big sales unit was to help these people discover their talent, their power to change their life. Because some of them were very timid women, and then they start to make money, and they start, to bloom. And this is what really got to me, and that's what I liked the most. This is why me and my group were breaking all the records. And so now I had to teach them. So this is when I decided to quit sales and start my school. So I can say that Lise Borbeau was very scared and many times, because I ran out of money. By that time I was divorced, living alone with my 3 teenagers. And it's when I found all these things out, I realized that my divorce was because I was too rigid. My ego was too big, but then it was too late. I was already divorced, and he was remarried, so, because my ex-husband could not live alone, so it didn't take long. He had another wife. But it's been such a road that full of events and full of discoveries, and one thing after another. And I'm a go-getter. I decide something, I go after it, and this helps. I don't lose track of what I want. I've always been like that, so it has helped me a lot with the school, because you can imagine 32 years ago, I would show people how to listen to their body. They thought I was a little, all my family too, they thought I was crazy, because I was making so much money in sales. And then I got out of that, and then I would rent a big room for 500 people, and then 7 people would show up for a conference. So I spent every little penny I had, plus I had to go into debts, and it was not easy financially. But I realized that I had something to learn about money, because when I was making a lot of money, I did not realize I had many fears, but I learned that with this experience. So actually, to me, life goes on, and every year it's new experience, new discoveries, and I just do the best I can, and I feel very, very fortunate to earn my living by talking about love all the time, and to be surrounded by people who want to better the quality of their life. They want to take their life into their own hands, because too many people wait for the husband to change, for the parents to be nicer, or for the kids to be nicer. And if those people could change, my life would be better, they say. People don't realize they have to change something inside before it changes on the outside. So people who come to my school are people who have decided they're going to take their life into their own hands. They're going to stop waiting for everybody else to help them when there's something wrong. So this is very rewarding to be surrounded with people like that all the time. So that's why I don't want to stop.
It's incredible. You said very beautifully in the workshop that we have the opportunity to live more lives in a lifetime. Opportunity that our parents and grandparents didn't have.
That's right.
But I see around the people, because now everyone is reading and listening and discovering themselves, and we have a lot of tools, but still the people change very rare in the profound, because they don't trust to listen to their bodies. They still are trusting to the medicine. We have a pain, we take a pill, but we don't remain there to listen to our body, because it's easier to drink something, a glass of wine, or to smoke a cigarette, and we are still in this bad circle, vicious circle, and we rarely get out. Is there listen to your body technique, give a solution for really listening to your body and stop adopting this bad lifestyle?
Well, people cannot change like that overnight, Right now we're in an era, the Aquarian age, where there are lots and lots of changes. It's all over in every country, because I have the chance to work in 20 different countries, and I see that everywhere people want a better life, but they don't know how. And then when they learn how, then they're afraid. They're afraid they won't be able to. They're afraid to change too much, and the people around them will not like them anymore. They're afraid of different things, so it's hard for them to change right now. You have to be very determined. And so far I would say that on the whole, there's about 5% of the population that is willing to open up to all these new things about discovering the power you have, and believe really in yourself and love yourself. So we still have a lot of work to do. But it's very encouraging, because every year I can see a difference. In every country I go to, I see the difference between the last time I went. And this to me is exciting, because I see that it is coming along, and there are lots of things changing. The medical system is changing, the schooling system is changing, the family rules are changing. It's slowly getting there, and without making a big war about it, just slowly, doing it. It's just the people who make it, because I have some customers who come to my workshop. I know some have been coming for 15 years, and they still ask me the same question as the first year.
Wow.
And I say, why are you here? Why don't you go and read the answer I gave you 10 years ago? I said, you don't do anything. And why are you taking workshops? Oh, I like workshops. I call them the workshop takers.
Yes.
Our people read books and books and books, but they never apply it in their life. So the secret is to be willing to try something new, and to react a different way than before, because otherwise nothing changes.
Yes. I wanted to ask you, is there a trend where now we are getting furious when we are watching our past traumas, and we are explaining our lack of motivation, lack of action, because poor me, what happened in my past, I was so suffering, I did so much, I had so much pain, and that's why we get attached with our story, and we never go and change.
Well, those people, sad, but nothing will ever change in their life. They will continue to be a victim of life, victim of other people. Unfortunately, they don't know that they have the power to change their own life. But there's nothing we can do. We can only help the people who want to help themselves. And right now, there are a lot of people who want to help themselves. So that's why when I see that somebody asks me for an advice, and then I give it to the person, and if she comes back a second time, I say, no more. Put in practice the first one. I have no patience for that. If you want my help, I only have time to help people who want to help themselves. Because a lot of people, they get attention this way. They ask you for advice, and then you take all the time to help them, and they go home and they don't change anything. So as a person that's there to help people, we have to be careful to know that, well, that person the kind of person that is willing to do something about it, not just read about it or listen about it.
Yes. Well, what should we do to reach unconditional love? Because it's so beautifully to not judge ourselves and others. And how can we arrive in the state to unconditional love for ourselves and for the others in this period where we live in a society that tells you to live in your individuality and to be yourself, and how can we love the others when the attention is on ourselves?
Well, it's just like if you ask the award winner for the Olympics, the gold medal, how did it get there? Well, it took a lot of years, lots of practice, lots of determination. It's the same for unconditional love. You have to practice a little every day, and when you just be more aware. And this is what we do the most in my school. We give all kinds of tools to people to become aware of when it's their ego talking or when they are in their heart. Because if you don't know, you cannot change anything. So when you become aware, now I want to change that person, I'm not, I love that person or the condition that he changes. Well, when you become aware of it, it's okay, take a deep breath and say, okay, how can I accept that person being different from me? I mean, who are we to try to run the world, to be either way we want them to be? That's just the ego that says that.
Yes, and how can we make the difference between the ego's voice and the essence voice, the inner voice?
Well, as soon as it's the ego, it creates perturbation,
Anxiety.
It doesn't go wow, inside of you. It either you feel emotion, you feel agitation, you feel fear, you feel guilt. You're expecting something from the other person. You're not right there being happy at that moment. So that means it's your ego running your life. Okay. When you are listening to your heart, at that moment, if it lasts for 5 seconds, those 5 seconds you really feel good. And again, that's another thing. You have to learn to be connected to your feelings. People have not learned that. Because I don't know about your mom, but I know that my mom never taught me how to feel. Yes. She told me what to do, what not to do, what to think, what to believe, but she never asked me how I felt, and because she did not know, she did not ask herself how she felt. So this is, we have to learn now. How do I feel with that thought? How do I feel with what's going on with that person? If it's not peaceful and centered and happy inside, it means the ego has taken over your thoughts.
Okay. About a question about the pains, about the disease. When the disease transforms into blessings, because you tell us that a disease is a gift for us.
Yes.
How can we understand the real cause? Because, like an example, the cancer, we are fighting with the cancer.
Yes.
This is the mentality to fight
right.
it, to fight it, and I think it's wrong because, like you said, it's a gift, and we have to embrace it. How we can do the shift from?
Well, I know it's not easy, but it's if we change our attitude towards disease, we cure much faster. And our soul is very happy because we've just learned something because of that. Because the body, the physical body, is just a reflection of what goes on in your emotional and mental body. But because we're not conscious, not much conscious, and we know that according to psychological survey, people are conscious at the most 10% of the time of what's going on inside. So we don't even know that we feel guilty. We don't even know that we are mad at somebody. We don't know that we have fear. What we know is not even 10% of the reality. So this is why when the body being a reflection, when it's been too long that you have these same thoughts that are hurting you inside, it starts to hurt your body. Like I see it as it's like a thought form, you know, like in my school I represent them as a spiral, a thought form that's floating there, all my thoughts and all my beliefs. And as it gets bigger, it gets closer to me, and it attaches to the stomach, it attaches to the arm. And when it gets to the physical body, that's when the pain starts and the disease starts. Now, if it's the more serious the disease is, it means the more urgent it is for you to change something inside of you, because your way of thinking and your beliefs are hurting you very, very much at the same degree that it hurts in the physical body. There's something that you have changed because it's like my inner self, my God self, is trying to attract my attention to something that should change because I'm not going according to my life plan. So that's why we must say thank you to our inner self to use my physical body to tell me something. So we look at the part of the body that is affected. Like now, in my case, it's my voice, my throat is affected. So I look at what do I use my throat for, my voice for? Well, it's for teaching. So I know, my body's telling me a message. So then I stop and I look, and then once you know the message, then it goes away. Because I used to have this laryngitis 2 or 3 times a year for a long time, and now it comes about once every 3 years. So there's progress.
That's progress. Yes, even the therapists do have pains and do divorce, have problems, because here is a mentality like the experts do not have any pain, they are not having problems, they are not divorcing, they are not having nothing, they are perfect.
No, that's doing control.
Yes.
When I was in positive thinking, I would not even acknowledge my pain. Sometimes I would say, you know what? I've got a backache. It's been 2 weeks since I have the backache. For 2 weeks, I never acknowledged it. And it had to hurt very much for me to become aware of a problem. I was very hard on my body because I was very rigid, and it's too bad because if you do not listen to your body with a small thing, then the next message is a little bigger, because when it gets to a cancer or any serious disease, that person has had hundreds and hundreds of messages before, in the smaller messages, but did not listen to them.
I have another question about the word love. If the word love is missing in our childhood, how is the children life becoming an adult love life? How?
Well, we don't need the word. You know, you don't need a mother or a father that says, I love you, I love you, I love you. Because I hear that sometimes. They talk to everybody on the phone, love you, I love you, you know. And then 5 minutes after, they criticize them. And so the words don't mean anything, it's a feeling. And you can feel if it's real love or not. And we feel accepted. We feel that no matter what we do, or the way we are, that the person loving us will allow us to be like that. And this is such a beautiful feeling. Yeah.
Because a lot of persons don't get well because they feel now, like an adult, they aren't loved. They don't feel. Even like you said, they hear a lot of loving on the phone or loving embraced, but they don't feel.
And also inside. You don't feel love because of your own lack of love. And I remember, like I have 3 children, and my favorite child was the middle one, my son, because my oldest son, he would always, I would ask him something, yes, yes, mom, yes, yes, and he never did it. He just went away, and I used to get so angry. My second son would say, oh, it's okay, mom, I'll do it for you. He was so good to me and everything. And I thought, oh, I must not show that he's my favorite because it's not fair, you see. And so one day, he was 17 years old, and I said, we were alone together at the restaurant. I said, tell me what you found the hardest from me as your mother. What did you find hard since you're a little boy? He says, your injustice. I said, oh, I wanted to die. I said, you think I'm unfair to you? He said, yeah, my brother always got away with everything, and he still got gifts at Christmas and everything, and he had privileges because he was the oldest. He says, me, I was always good to you, and you didn't give me more privileges than my brother. I said, you know, you're right, because I was so afraid to be unfair that I was unfair to him. And he says, I never felt loved by you, because he thought I was so unfair. Well, he has a rejection wound to work on. So now we both know that, because when you reject yourself, no matter what other people do, you feel rejected.
And where's the way to accept ourselves and loving ourselves? Is there
just
a
accept being human. Being human.
Making mistakes, doing things wrong.
Because as long as we're human, we will always make mistakes. We will always forget something. And we can't always love everybody. Sometimes you're impatient. Sometimes you've had enough because you had too much bad week. And everybody gets on your nerves. I mean, we have those moments. So if we allow ourselves, okay, today I have a bad moment. Okay, I mean, I'm not a bad person. I'm just human. So you allow other people to be human, and you allow yourself to be human. What a wonderful world. Nobody judges anybody.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to arrive there in the state of being flexible and accept ourselves.
Because people think that being perfect is a person that's always to everybody, is never sick, never forgets everything, always does everything wrong, smiles all the time. It's unreal. That's really unreal. It's idealistic. And you know that if you go in the dictionary, and the opposite to an ideal is reality. So the person that's too in the ideal, perfect mother, perfect this, perfect that, is not realistic. Doesn't give themselves the right to be human beings.
Yes. Thank you. I'd like to close with the mirror technique, because I think is the most important, and you say is the spiritual tool, and someone really gets spiritual when he is aware of what means the world, that is the the magic and the big mirror that shows part of us and shows who are we in that moment. So I'd like to tell us how important is the mirror technique and how we can work with it in our daily life.
I've been working with self-development for 45 years.
Wow.
And in everything I have learned, I have never learned anything as powerful as that technique. So this is why we use it a lot in my teaching. And the mirror technique is so simple. It means that whatever you see in other people, it's a reflection of yourself. If I have a mirror here and I see pimples, the pimples do not belong to the mirror. Even if I throw away the mirror and I get another one, again, pimples, you know. That's what we do when we change husband, you know.
Yeah.
We change
good.
again. And when we agree, we finally accept the idea that the other person is my mirror, then it really opens my eyes to a lot of things. Because if I don't accept you when you are being rude, and I say, why she's so rude? I mean, who does she think she is? And I'm criticizing you. Well, then it means that when I'm rude, I don't like myself. I do not accept that part of me. And so most people will say, well, I'm not rude. Mm-hmm. Well, we think we're not rude. But we are. If we ask people around, do you find me rude? Sometimes they do.
Oh, yes.
But I must make a precision. The mirror technique, I've developed a way to work with that. We have a very specialty at my school and with the mirror. We only work with the being. We do not judge the way the person acts or does or speaks. If person is always rude and speaks loud to me, impatient, I say, you judge a person of being what? Well, on being non-respectful. Well, then we have to work on that. The mirror is always on the being, not the way that person acts. Mm-hmm. So this is why we get mixed up, because we say, I never act like that. Mm-hmm. But you are non-respectful in another way. When you don't mind your business, for example, you're trying to control the other person, you're not respectful.
Incredible. Thank you very much for receiving a lot of wisdom for you. Thank you, and we are here with Lise Borbeau, a great story and a great teacher, a great researcher who gives us a great experience. I think so. For me, you are amazing. Thank you
very much.